cred for his veteran leadership. Him and Marshawn are buddies. But Thomas Rawls is our guy going forward after.
Well, I know that.
I mean, at least I hope he is. I think he is. But that's why I would like to see him continue to get in the mix. Jimmy Graham, you guys happy with the way things are progressing with him?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
I kind of zeroed in on him a little bit to watch the blocking that is, had
He's
been
shitty.
moving. Oh,
He's
gosh,
shitty.
it looks like the Three Stooges out there, man.
He couldn't block any one of us, I'm telling you.
Well,
And so, the unfortunate thing is, as you just said, man, he's not a good blocker. The other thing is that's going to pay dividends down the road, and what I mean by that is that he's going to get lost a lot. Looking like he's blocking. I think.
Right, yeah.
And then exactly.
We haven't seen what we all envisioned the day the trade went down, and that's just that lob up to the corner of the end zone in the red zone. We haven't seen it.
Right.
So that's still to come.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news. But is trying to work Jimmy Graham into the offense the way they're doing it, do you think it's smart? Do you think that they're going overboard like they did with Percy Harvin now? I mean, we were all clamoring after the first couple games, why isn't Jimmy Graham getting in the mix? Well, now they're making a concerted, conscious effort to get him the ball. I like it. Some people out there think that it's too much.
I think if you pick and choose when you're going to go to them in the game, I don't want them to telegraph, trying to force feed the ball to Jimmy Graham and try to do too much, because as we've seen with Russell Wilson at times, where he can get a little too cute when it comes to trying to thread the needle. And I don't want him to make early mistakes trying to get the ball to Jimmy Graham when really maybe the smart read is on some stupid little smoke screen or bubble screen or whatever. Like I don't want to I don't want the if they can get back to what they do and establish that run and use Jimmy Graham in methodical ways, I'm perfectly fine with that. And then obviously just top it off with with icing on the cake and use him in the red zone, maybe get him a touchdown or two. I'm fine with that. I don't want to see in a situation where they're just going to try to force feed Jimmy Graham and let Russell Wilson be in a position to make mistakes.
I wouldn't even mind, excuse me, Captain, I wouldn't even mind seeing those plays that are going downfield to Jermaine Kearse going to Jimmy Graham. Throw the ball up high. If you're not getting the separation, at least get the ball up high enough for a guy that can make a snag.
Thing about Kearse, though, he had 4 targets, he caught 3 of them for 64 yards. So he's doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
But Jimmy Graham had 5 targets, only caught 2 of them. So is that a quarterback issue? Is that Jimmy Graham's route issue? Is Jimmy Graham still trying to learn how to get open once the route is broken off because Russell's scrambling? So they're still trying to figure that out. But I'm kind of with you, Commando. I like Jermaine Kearse, but the more we can get Jimmy Graham the ball, I think the better in the long run.
Oh, too.
I mean, you can use three receiver sets to one side, like in a trips formation, where you can have Jimmy run like maybe a 7 yard to the sideline type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can line them up as a receiver instead of having to run seam routes off the off the line of scrimmage. You can actually line them up as a receiver. That's some of the things that I don't really see the Seahawks do, is actually utilizing them as a receiver.
He was split out a couple times. By the way, was it this game that Doug Baldwin was in the backfield, or was that the Carolina game? Doug Baldwin lined up in the backfield, like behind Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
One play.
Might have been the Carolina game. It could have been this game.
I tweeted out. I don't know why I can't remember, but that was something I was just really curious about that I never heard. Like what their plan is there, what play they could run out of that with Baldwin in the backfield. The defense, Michael Bennett had his way, 3.5 sacks against a shitty offensive line. Good for him. Good for him, for a guy that always is talking about wanting to make more money. Stack those sacks up and you might be able to do something. Bruce Irvin. What's going on with Bruce Irvin? When you guys watch him, you feel like he's playing the type of play he needs to get that contract that he wants from Atlanta or whoever? He had 1 tackle, 1 solo. He doesn't seem very productive. Like, sometimes he is, sometimes he's not. He reminds me of Rashard Lewis in his first few years as a Sonic, where he would just disappear in games. And Bruce just disappears.
Yeah.
this was supposed to be the year of Bruce Irvin. This was supposed to be.
Started off as
This
it.
was where everything was going to come together. He was saying all the right things in the preseason. It looked like you were starting to see maybe Bruce Irvin was going to take that next step.
Mm-hmm.
Start of the regular season, he literally, to me, I mean, there's a dude in his uniform. He's on the field.
Yeah, he had a couple nice plays in pass coverage in against Carolina, but nothing. He's not a standout. He's not
consistent.
right. Not consistent. Not special when he needs to be.
Yeah, but then again, does he have to be though? I mean, this defense is making plays. I mean,
Well, you got to be special to be on this defense. I
That-
think
Mm-hmm.
is the bottom line, and everyone that's been on this defense has been standout players. We've seen standout players that I wish I could get back, like Brandon Browner, that aren't on this defense anymore.
Yeah.
That, that's that kind of defense, man. They let guys go that are standouts, so they're looking for guys that can be standouts to be on that field in Seahawks Stadium with the 12th man going crazy.
Brandon Browner with the Saints has more yards against him than any defensive back in football right now, and I would still take him over Kerry Williams.
I would too.
That's what
I
I'm
would
trying to
too.
say.
I would too. But then again, I think the situation down in New Orleans. I mean, that is such a bad secondary all the way around that he's probably the best of what's the worst, and that is, I mean, he's on an island. So, and he was not, and never will be a cover corner, like a shutdown, lockdown cover corner. Like he was good in the system that Seattle employed because it suited his skill set, right? And now and then he was perfectly fine in New England because you had Darrell Revis on the other side, and now he's on an island.
He was the original Boom in the Legion of Boom. Brandon Browner was.
There you go.
He was the guy that was throwing guys on the ground,
Yeah.
cracking him, and then Cam went, "Oh yeah, what I can do?" Right.
I'll bring some boom.
And Earl went, "Oh, I can join in that too." And then, but I'll forever love Brandon Browner, and I wish he was here. Kerry Williams, do you think he makes it this season? I mean, do you think he's a starting cornerback through the entire season?
Yeah. I
Depends.
think just from the standpoint of how he's acquired, the teams he's played with before, some
He
of
sucked for all of them, though.
Well, my point is, Coach Carroll and John Snyder saw something in the guy.
He was
and
cheap.
when we were on,
And they were desperate.
They were
There you
cheap.
go.
he was the best of what was available.
All right.
And maybe they can bring him in and coach him up, and being in the secondary might maybe bring something. Now I still think, and correct me if I'm wrong. We're still waiting on Jeremy Lane, correct?
On the PUP, I think,
We're coming to what, a couple weeks, right?
yeah,
Week 8, right?
Yeah, so he's eligible to come off pretty soon. Who knows if he's going to be healthy once he does. But, his best days were in the nickel spot, Jeremy Lane. I mean, that's what he was really good at. Can he play the outside? Maybe we'll find out. Harold Simon's another guy
Right.
that's been injured. Like who am I thinking of that ended up going to the Eagles?
Oh, Maxwell.
Not Maxwell. Walter Thurman III.
Right.
Oh, look at you.
He was injured, and then proved out to be great. We'll have the same thing with Harold Simon. I don't know, but I'd like to see him in there trying to redeem himself for the Super Bowl.
Right.
I would say that as far as Kerry Williams goes, from that standpoint, there really isn't anybody else that's pushing that position. So you pretty much, it's what else do you got?
I'm
So,
sure
I mean,
he's a nice guy, but he's a dicktard on the field. He really is, and it just pisses me off every time I watch that guy. Even if the ball doesn't get thrown to his side, you watch and he's already beat by 2 steps. He's like Kelly Jennings, but doesn't have an excuse for why he's so bad. Kelly Jennings is at least fast and could get up there to try to get the ball. He just never turned around to look at it.
Ugh, Kelly Jennings. Yeah, that's pretty bad. The thing I don't like about him, it just seems that he makes marginal receivers look better than they're supposed to look.
Well,
That's like quintessential Mariner. That's like Mariner baseball right there. That's Mariner pitcher baseball,
Yeah.
where your mediocre pitchers make bad hitters look like all stars, and it's and that's the whole thing. At least you have to be serviceable.
Yeah, they
Right.
just
In this defense, you got to be serviceable.
depth on the
Yeah.
corner's tough.
Well, I still think he's going to be the corner.
I do
entire
too.
season.
I do too.
That was the question.
I do too.
And,
might be right.
and I'm standing by Coach Carroll. John Snyder, GM, saw something in him from the past team that he played with that he can get his technique sharpened, and by the end of the season, shut somebody down.
Hopefully.
Put it out.
If he comes up with a clutch play that saves a game, I'm sure it'll be worth it. All the mistakes will probably
He's a
be worth it
groove grinder, man. I was watching the next week, and he was going to the Gruden grinders, and they say, "Yeah, Gary Williams was the Gruden grinder the week before."
Really?
I said, "What? Gary Williams, a Gruden grinder?
What does it take to be a
happen?"
Gruden grinder?
That's what I'm trying to say here.
Well, the defense in general, I mean, the depth is an issue, but by the way, see what it's like when our linebackers back and healthy?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
we saw that firsthand last year. They would have won that last game. I swear to God, they would have won that last game against Carolina if they would have had their linebacker. If Wagner was back, we wouldn't even be talking about losing a 17-point game.
Well,
deficit.
he's always put the hurting on Cam Newton, and Cam Newton's like, man, it's kind of like when Cam Chancellor was gone. You go, oh, no Cam Chancellor back there? No, now no Bobby Wagner. Okay, that's perfect for me.
That's it. So, well, we said it last Friday. We're going to be back here enthused about what the Seahawks have going forward, and I am enthused. I feel much better because I feel like the trajectory is like this, with a lot of work left to do, but they're going in the right direction. Now they go down to Dallas.
Yep.
There might not be.